Hello everyone. So this interview series has been sought from the comfort of my house, and because there could not be a lot of retakes, that's why you'll hear a little bit of background noise in some places. And during the shoot of this particular episode, there was a small power cut, so you'll hear my power backup beeping in the background for a few minutes. So I am very sorry for that. But with that being said, here is the interview. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of My Career Path. We have Ahmad Nisar from Afghanistan with us today. So, hello, brother, and welcome to the show.
Hi to everyone, and thank you so much, Rhythm, for having me. Thanks for the invitation.
Okay, so Ahmad here is from Afghanistan, and he has been working for child rights and for gender equality, which is a big deal because Afghanistan, is now slowly developing, and the problems just amplify for in case of children, and when we come to gender equality and things. So Ahmad, how has it been working over there?
So working over here has
Uh huh.
has it has its own ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
Though the majority of the activism that I have done is has been all smiles for me, and I still remember the first day when I started engaging myself into society, and that
Uh
was a
huh.
wonderful experience. And till now, I have really developed. I have learned new things. I have been able to interact with people and to enhance my own capacity building and communication skills. So it has been all smiles for me, but there were some ups and downs. Though I was really happy, and it gave me an unconventional ecstasy when working with people, especially with children with marginalized populations. But there was some problems and some binds that hindered through the way. Some circumvents that came and popped into the way was a government when we were holding the government accountable, so they were acting obliviously, and our voice was not heard. Though
Mm-hmm.
improvements has been made a lot since then. For example, in this 1 year that I have been working, we have newly by the Convention of Children's Rights, and there has been drastic improvement in areas of child protection. But there is still a lot of room for improvement, and we still need to hold government more accountable in order for our voices to be heard and reflected throughout the country and the nation.
Mhm. So Ahmed, now since we have a brief introduction of you, now I'd like to ask, where did it all start? You are just 17 and you are doing such a great job out there, and to be doing it in Afghanistan, you can do it in other developed countries very easily, in these fields. But working in
Yes.
Afghanistan with these, this kind of field is something very challenging. So where did it all start? Where did your journey begin as a child right activist, and in all this works?
This is such an interesting question, and this is whenever I'm just thinking back about how this all started, it just makes me so happy.
Okay.
So, what ignited my passion to be an advocate for children was the suffrage and agony that children were going through,
Uh-huh.
because we are still facing and we are seeing, observing terrifying pictures of children, which is flashing from all over Afghanistan.
Uh-huh.
So, you know that we have picture of a children who is marrying a man, picture of a girl who is marrying a man twice his age, and picture of a girl who is denied from their rights to going to education and from deprived from going to school. So
Mm-hmm.
there's such hindrance and there's such agony that children are suffering. I have always had a passion for educating children, and I had a passion for exponentially driving for positive change and lives of children, and also
Uh-huh.
seeing that 3.7 million children in my country are out of school. So that made me to realize that there needs to be a change in the society. So there was this one night when we had a power cut and like the room was dark. So I surprisingly started to read about Malala Yousafzai.
Okay.
I saw how she jeopardized and imperiled her life for the rights of education. And that was such an inspirational moment for me because she got shot in the head for her rights to education. And I got an idea of what activism really means, and how can I plan for driving positive change in my society. So initially I was really interested to speak and work in areas of health because I'm a first aid trainee myself. So I really
Wow.
liked and I was an ardent health and well-being. So the first thing I did, which popped in my mind as an activist, was to organize and held some public health campaigns and also fundraise for children. So I collected a cluster of children. They were all street children. I I gave my first campaign. I organized my first public health campaign, and I talked about disaster management, also about hygiene maintenance, and I also distributed some hygienic products to them. So when time passed after conducting several health campaigns, then I started teaching children, because quality education was something I was really interested for. I'm really an ardent for education. You know that, and daily at least 4 to 5 hours I just study, apart from like working on my projects every day. That's a routine for me. So actually there were some barriers. I faced barriers when I was teaching children. I first started to talk with my mother, because my mother is a teacher herself, and she's teaching in a public school. So the situation in public schools is such that though education is provided to all children, but it's not quality education. There are some gaps which needs to be filled, and it's not inclusive for all people coming from different backgrounds. And for example, if some subjects are taught, some subjects aren't, especially English language. I
Mm-hmm.
talked with my mother, and I said that could you please help me, and could you connect me to some students of yourself who are coming in, who are in elementary school. I want to teach them free of any charge, because it's my interest. Then my mother helped me through this stage, and then I had a group of 10 students, which
Wow.
every day I was teaching them. So what happened, that for some months I was doing this. I was just happy, so happy with what I was doing. But then there were some barriers by neighbors and by families. So where I was teaching was beneath our house, below our apartment. Then one day came when my neighbors said that you should not teach children here, because it's a house, it's not a school. And I said that actually education is not something that you can provide an obstacle for it. And you cannot just take a stand in front of our ways, even if it's below my house. I still have a right to educate children. So there was some hindrance and hesitation in this case, because neighbors were not allowing us to teach. Then I started teaching children in my own house, and then there were some barriers, there were some obstacles put ahead by family, and my
Oh
family
my
was
god.
not consent with what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But what made me to continue what I was doing was the joy that I saw in their face. And every day they were coming with smiling faces, and they were getting educated. So that made me to realize that I will not leave what I'm doing right now. I spoke with my family, and I managed to teach children for 6 up to 7 months. And then someone from our neighborhood informed the Ministry of Education about what I was doing. And then a government official from the Ministry of Education came and see that I'm teaching children free of any charge. And then that led me to be a representative for children. And even today, I'm representing children in conferences and policy ratification and high level discussions. So that made me to realize one thing, that until we don't unite and stand together, you will never change the outstanding belief that violence against children is both normal and permissible, though it's needed. And we will fight for this as long as possible, and with all our might and power.
Wow. So that's an very inspiring start, because from the place you come from, if it was from any other country, you know it would have been easier. But to be doing in a country which has just been recovering from a very harsh situation, and now things are coming back on track, to be doing something like that is very inspirational, and salute to you for that. Now, Ahmad,
Thank you so much.
now I'd like to move on to the next part. The part I want to hear the most is that you are from Afghanistan. The literacy rate and everything, the awareness is not there. It's still to be brought in by people like
That's
you
true.
and me. And so how has the obstacles you face, how has it been different, and how did you get past them in your journey? Like, what were the major obstacles from not just the neighbors not letting you teach, or your family opposing you to do your works, the overall situation, and how you fought against them, and became a country representative, a children's representative for all of Afghanistan.
Well, I had a strong desire
Uh-huh.
to do what I'm doing. And as I said, that when I was really passionate with what I was doing. Then once the neighbors, like when the neighbors denied me to teach beneath my house, so then I started talking to my family, and I said that I have to. northern forest. And then my family was saying that, why are you doing this? Why are you just giving trouble to yourself? You can just go study and work for yourself, not for others, not for the society. And then I said, no, I have this passion. I don't know if I'm different or if there are lots of people around the world like me, but I have to do this, and I will show people that this can reap tremendous effects back, not to just myself but to the whole society. And then one thing that happened was the support of Ministry of Education, which really helped me to come and to be what I am today. So when they were informed, though I was really in a critical situation and I was about to leave my job of being a volunteer teacher, but then when suddenly someone from the Ministry of Education, he was a government official, he came and checked everything, then I was appointed as a representative. And from then up to now, there has been no obstacles in front of my way, and my family is now also in consent with what I am doing. So actually, I proved them wrong, and I proved that working in society it's back, not only to an individual but to the whole society as well. And now today they also believe that we can work for a better future, we can work for a more sustainable society, and it's us who shape the world. And this lost generation actually belongs to this one world, and it's us, it's on us to save this lost population, because we are all living in this one world, so we should obviously do something for saving it and for nurturing it. So the help from Ministry of Education and then hard work of myself, I initially Ministry of Education really helped me for being the person I am today. And then I started working on other projects, for example giving public awareness campaigns, and being in multiple programs, and also informing people about gender equality, working with families in order to eradicate child labor. We have also held consultative talks with families, and all of this then actually proved my family and proved the minds that they had uh, wrong. And I overcome these barriers by having a strong desire, and by believing that I can do what I want, and nothing is impossible in this world to do. And that led me to be the person I'm today. Now I'm a young leader as well. I'm a teacher as well. I'm a reporter as well, and I have taken many shapes and faces within this 1 year. So now they earn consent. They're happy with what I'm doing, and they're actually feeling proud as well. So this has been a turn-taking, a twisting moment in my life, from what they believed to what they believe now. From then to now, there has been lots of differences and changes that came to my life, and also in their own mindset.
So, Ahmed, now talking about children in Afghanistan, you know, what are the major problems the children face there that you are fighting against? You know, you are consulting with families, you are consulting with the government and everything. So, what are the few major obstacles that you are looking forward to, get rid of from there?
So one of the major obstacles that was causing a hindrance in lives of millions of children was the ratification of Convention of the Children's Rights. Now it's happily and surprisingly, fortunately, now it's ratified. That was one big problem and bind that we were going through. So happily now that is ratified, and we are working on it in order to even ratify it in the parliament, in the country's parliament as well. But there are lots of other problems that's popping every day in front of us. So you know that lack of investment in children is one of the main reasons for underdevelopment of the country. Because I think children are the future makers, the shapers of the country.
Yes.
So it can tremendous effects. And a survey shows that whenever you're investing in children and social issues, it can reap up to 5 times and pay you back. But the government has a hysteria of investing in them. Though half of our country's 30 million population are under the age of 18, but still they're exposed to extreme harmful situations of violence and abuse due to ongoing conflict. There's displacement, poor economy, and harmful social norms and practices. So this increased number and frequency of conflict-related incidents have caused an alarming rise in child casualties. And Afghan girls, especially in this matter, they face early child marriage, honor killings, domestic abuse, and sexual violence. And Afghan boys, I think the situation is same for the boys as well, because they go in military recruitment and to armed conflict. They do underage, but they are still because of forgery and because of misinformation in their identity card, they are recruited into armed conflict and sexual exploitation. So you know that in Afghanistan there are thousands of children which are entering into the labor market each year. And then what happens that they are exposed into supreme violence, and the area that they are working, for example, they are selling gums or balloons in the streets, so they are getting abused by people as well. And both girls and boys are exposed to hazardous labor practices. They are get in contact with landmines and violence at home. And if I tell you some surveys that I have in mind while working with the Ministry of Education, so there's 1 in 18 Afghan children, they fail to reach their first birthday, and 46% of children who are aged between 12 to 23 months have not received their basic vaccination, while 1 in 3 girls in here are married before their 18th birthday, and 2 and 5 children cannot reach full mental and physical development. While as I have also previously mentioned, about 3.6 million children being out of school, and 60% are comprising girls, and only 19% of females under the age of 15 are literate. And Afghanistan still remains as one of the 3 countries which is facing and battling with polio, and 14 cases were reported in 2016. So what swells my heart is like when the hope that I see in eyes of children while they're going and they're suffering a lot, but still when you're asking from any child about what his or her future plans is, he or she says that I want to get educated and grow up as a doctor or engineer and do service to my country. So, but the question is that will they ever get to what they aspire? I ask myself that this hopeless boy standing so and speaking so hopefully achieve what they want. So these are some issues that we are facing, and we are working. Still, there needs a lot to change. We're hoping for the best, and we're trying our best also to bring change in lives of children.
You know, I think the numbers speak for themselves. We don't need to explain anything from here. I think if we look at the number, then that's, I think, 1 in 5 children don't reach the full mental and physical growth. 3 over 3 million, 30 million, I say, yeah, students out of school, and
3.6.
3.7 million. And these these are the numbers we don't want to see in the 21st century, I think, in any country out there. And to be seeing this number is heartbreaking. you know uh,
Yes,
so
of course it is.
so Ahmed, now, talking about all these things, uh, how do you now plan your next 5 years or 10 years in this field? Because I think we have talked about in the past as well. So you have dedicated your you have chosen to work in this field as your career. You want to help people, you want to lead the children to a better future, and to establish child rights, gender equality. So how do you plan the next coming few years, and where do you see, like, what changes, other changes that you want to make, or that you want to see or help make those changes?
We have some plans. We have already planned some projects to be implemented, and that's especially in the case of maternal and newborn health. So, Afghanistan's literacy rate is only 43% as of 2018. It's one of the lowest literacy rates in the world. And as women are deprived from going to school, they won't have access to sexual and reproductive health and rights, which is so important for everyone to know and to be aware of, and to protect it throughout their life. So systems of patriarchy and household powers also prevent women from attending school, and lack of infrastructure, housework, and female teacher credentials all add up to the problem. I think these are some of these issues also meet with what we are facing in Nepal and other parts of South Asia as well. So, though the law on education for all men and women emphasizes having access to education and health, but still the law is not enforced evenly across the country. So, our project actually we have not planned a few years, but we have planned 1 year. For 1 year, we have planned to. It's a personal project that I have been taken in mind, and that is to build 3 literacy centers for mothers and children, and to teach literacy in some villages and 3 villages in Kabul, Afghanistan. So we are also planning to introduce informal education to 30 child laborers, because child laborers, that they have been experiencing suffrage and sexual abuse, and they have been exploited a lot. So we are also trying to introduce informal education to 30 child laborers in the next 6 months, which aims to provide education for out of school children, as well as basic hygiene management, inclusion, and introduction to comprehensive sexuality education. And also, we are going to propose the adoption of sexual and reproductive health and rights as a part of the curriculum to the Ministry of Education, and we are tirelessly working on that. uh, once the proposal has been finalized, we are working on proposing this uh, for including SRHR, or comprehensive sexuality education in schools as well. And also our next plans is for holding and organizing some health related campaigns in villages. We've already talked to in different provinces across, like Bamiyan and Nuristan, which are some provinces in here. So we have talked with the villagers and also with the village head. And in the coming months, inshallah, we will organize some health related campaigns, as well as awareness about hygiene management, disaster and risk management, and women and human rights in general.
Wow.
These are some plans that we currently have in mind, and we are trying to get it implemented within some months, within, I think, 6 months, in the future.
That sounds really good. So I think that's quite a lot you are planning to do, and I think with
Yeah.
all you have done right now, I think you are creating a very strong foundation. You are planning on creating a very strong foundation for the upcoming generation. And I think you really inspire me personally. Let me tell you that your works, what you have been accomplishing out there, just inspires me, and I think those who have heard you today, and I think everybody, it has been inspired in some way or other. So now, Ahmad, what do you expect from the international community? What message do you have for the people and who are watching from Afghanistan today? What message do you have for them, and what message do you have for the international community? What do you expect from, what kind of help do you want, or what would be the best for your works to support you?
Well, for the international community, I would like to thank all the organizations that I'm currently working with, especially Women Deliver. Actually, these all projects that I have in mind, and these plans that I have made. Uh, this is all because of a hope that I have, and that is for receiving a grant from Women Deliver. Women Deliver is a leading global advocate for gender equality, and we would be applying for grants. And if, for example, we are granted for our projects, then of course we will implement all these plans that I have in mind. I already have been working with some organizations. They are all international organizations, so we have been working with that. And of course, without the help of international community, we would never be able to implement these very huge and drastic projects. Actually, I have already figured out by the internet for the international community. I have figured to ask for help from Women Deliver, which is one organization, and then putting my own organization apart. I think the United Nations has been doing a great and splendid job in
Mm-hmm.
Afghanistan, and they're working a lot for battling issues, especially UNICEF, and cases of any issues of children. UNICEF has been doing a great work and providing quality education and protecting the rights of people, the rights of children across the country, not only in Kabul city but across all provinces. So I really appreciate what UNICEF has been doing for protecting children, and also other organizations, for example, Save the Children, and many other examples. But the two major organizations that have been working here is UNICEF and Save the Children, that is doing a great job, a splendid job, and protecting their rights. So one message that I would like to give for the international community is to always focus and always have the situation that we are like facing. Please have it in mind. uh, we have been suffering a lot in these years. All the people actually here, not only children, but generally all people, all the humans here who are living here has been exploited. uh, so one message that I would have in mind for international community is to assist Afghanistan and to invest directly in social issues, because social and economical growth are both directly proportional to each other. So I think whenever you are investing in social issues, you're actually also investing in economic empowerment. So just we are working, and they are already doing a great job. But just again, I would like to emphasize on how important it is to invest in social issues. And I would also like to request international community to think of how people, not only in Afghanistan, but across all South Asia, Africa, and other places are suffering, and to assess children and to protect their rights. And one message that I would like to convey to everyone in Afghanistan is to please take initiations and try to make the society a better place. I have been seeing people, I have talked with people, and unfortunately, they are thinking about themselves but never about the society. And I think if we all work and do something for the betterment and for improvement and enhancement of the society, I think we can make Afghanistan a better country, and also we can make the society a bit more sustainable and prosper. So one message is to always think of the social issues, the social circumvents and problems that we are facing, and take initiations for having a better society and for the development of the whole nation. That's one message that I have in mind for people who are living here, and I hope that they will not just hear this but they will implement this in the future as well.
Thank you so much, Ahmad, for such an inspiring, session. It has been, pleasure talking with you, and you have always inspired me, and now I think you'll inspire all these lovely people who are watching this video, and yeah. I'll leave the links to Ahmad's organization, his works, and everything down below in the description. You can just go there, show some love. And if you have been watching till now, new to the channel, do subscribe because we I'll bring these kind of things, this kind of content, and we'll be following Ahmad as well in future. And yeah, just show some love, and now this video I think will help us realize how important social issues are. Investing in social issues is, so definitely keep that in mind, and I'll see you in the next episode of my career path with another topic, with another inspiring person. Till then, take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.